Did you notice how the internet went haywire after LeBron hit the game winner? They discovered that Caitlin Clark had met him backstage without any cameras present. Basketball enthusiasts had been anticipating this moment. Finally, two generations of genius crossed paths, but no one captured a moment of it on camera. That's correct. Not a single image, not a single video.
The sound of the buzzer, it's an automatic review. One more look.
I thought he got it off Mark well in time, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's going to count. It's going to count.
When the buzzer goes off, the review is automated. I believed he got it off after one more glance. Let's go back to that amazing Lakers versus Pacers game. The atmosphere was electrifying. With every possession, the voices of the standing fans rise. As the clock ticked down, players' faces were dripping with sweat as the score was nodded. Then LeBron does what LeBron does, and bang! Shockwaves were sent through the audience when that devastating buzzer beater cut past the net. Caitlin Clark and her boyfriend Connor stared from the stands as their roars reverberated off the rafters.
North Carolina Duke at 2:30 Eastern, then Maryland taking on number 1 seed South Carolina, the Fighting Dawn Staleys, followed by LSU, NC State, and Caitlin Clark in the building tonight.
Just as the buzzer had ceased ringing, an unexpected event occurred behind the scenes. LeBron James and Caitlin Clark had a private meeting in the Lakers locker room. Absence of cameras, no press, no social media team. Just two legendary basketball players spending some time together away from the limelight in a day where everything is captured on camera, shared, and analyzed online. Their peaceful conversation stuck out as unusual and welcome. Fans flocked to social media when the news broke, seeking evidence. One asked, "Where's the pic? If there's no photo, did it even happen?" Jokingly asked another. LeBron and Caitlin made a different decision in a time when the majority of sportsmen strive for views and interaction. They were honest and private. Their appreciation for the game and for one another is evident in that choice.
LeBron never messaged me directly, but it's been cool to just see his support of myself and the W overall. You can tell he really watches and turns it on, and yeah, he's been kind of a big fan of myself from college and now in the W. So, he's the greatest basketball player of all time. So I think that's...
Let's discuss Caitlin Clark's passion for LeBron James. This isn't your average fandom. She actually called him the best basketball player of all time in an interview with Time magazine. Consider that putting her money down on who she thinks is at the pinnacle of basketball monarchy. The future face of women's basketball declaring someone the GOAT in public shows more than just respect. It also acknowledges the model of greatness they have established.
I don't want to compare myself to anybody else. I don't like that.
Yeah. It's a difficult thing to conjure.
Yeah. But I don't know, I hate saying this because LeBron is the greatest basketball player of all time, but obviously he didn't even go to college, and he had all these expectations coming out of high school to be the greatest player ever, and obviously that's a lot. That's a lot to take on your shoulders and a lot for the NBA at the time.
LeBron didn't simply nod and walk away after she made that audacious claim. Instead, he turned around and referred to her as transcendent in an Esquire interview. That goes beyond a simple compliment. That is a once-in-a-generation talent being recognized by basketball royalty. LeBron didn't stop there either. He gave Clark his full support, a strong declaration that basically sends a message to the basketball community that she is the real deal and that he is rooting for her.
Clark, he said, "I have a great deal of respect for her because I know exactly what it means to be drafted, to be the face of a franchise, and also get the scrutiny from a lot of people that don't believe you're ready for the next jump." And so me, watching Caitlin, seeing what she's doing, I've been in support of her since day one because I remember myself going through that, and she has my support 100%. She is a transcendent.
The way LeBron views himself in Caitlin's journey is what further intrigues this link. In particular, he contrasted her ascent with his own in 2003. Recall how much pressure LeBron had to bear after graduating from high school and seeing the selected one on magazine covers. That's the kind of burden Clark is currently bearing.
I came in with the narrative, but I didn't come in with that type of aura. I just wanted to come in and learn from the vets and then put the work in. So I think for my advice to Caitlin, and my advice to anyone that comes in with this, this level of like notoriety, out of this world expectation, whatever the case may be, I just think it's all about having, be a horse, man. The Kentucky Derby, put your blinders on, go to work, show up to work, punch your clock in, prepare yourself, work on your game.
LeBron talked about the heavy expectations placed on him and how every word he said was scrutinized. Most of us can never comprehend what it was like to be doubted as a youngster. Sounds familiar? That's precisely what Clark is going throughout her first season. Every game, interview, and social media post is scrutinized to the point where most athletes would crumble. But this is where things start to get very interesting. When he stated that Clark is drawing greater attention to the WNBA, LeBron acknowledged that his personal challenges might be mirrored by Clark's influence on her sport. That wasn't merely a passing remark. That was LeBron James, who acknowledged that Clark possesses the same revolutionary force and helped expand the NBA's global reach.
And I think for her, the one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane for the first time in their league history. They flew private. That should be celebrated in its own right. For anyone that's, in sports that's flown commercial or flown, charter, that should be celebrated, and it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted.
Originating from another person, LeBron's statement that someone belongs may seem like simple encouragement, but when it comes to basketball knighthood, it essentially means that you're one of us and have earned your spot among the greats. Considering the flawless symmetry in their tales, the guy who's been holding the torch for a generation is essentially passing it on to the lady who is prepared to follow suit. Both made their league debuts with unheard-of fanfare. Both had to contend with skeptics who claimed their skills wouldn't transcend to the professional ranks. With record rookie seasons, both players disproved those doubters and demonstrated maturity above their years in handling the pressure.
Kind of keep your mouth shut, and just learn from the vets. When they ask, you voice your opinion if they want your opinion, man, early on, because everybody is looking for you to say anything, and they're going to splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing.
What we're seeing isn't just two Nike players hanging out. Rather, it's the meeting point of two basketball careers that seem to be practically predetermined. This is absurd. It's no longer about men's basketball versus women's basketball. Rather, it's about greatness recognizing greatness. The established king recognizing the rising queen, the veteran seeing his younger self in a rising star, the torch being passed from one generation-defining player to another. LeBron practically crowned the next era's queen when he spoke about basketball in general, not just women's basketball. The gender-neutral game that unites us all in wonder at what people can do with just a ball and a hoop.
Caitlin, Tom Withers, AP, since we're in Cleveland and this is where your college career will end, it's also where LeBron's NBA career began. Have you had any interactions with him over the years, and do you plan to play till you're 40 and score 40,000 points?
I mean, that wouldn't be too bad. I wouldn't say no to that. And honestly, I've never talked to LeBron directly, but obviously I've seen he's commented about myself, and I just saw this morning he talked about women's basketball in general and how good the game is and the stars in our game, and he knows what he's talking about. He pays attention. He supports the game. He doesn't just talk about it. He really shows up and supports, and I think that's the coolest thing. One of the greatest players of all time, really helping support and grow women's basketball. That's exactly.
Additionally, their courses coincide at the ideal time. Even though LeBron is nearing the end of his illustrious career, he is still in control and is obviously considering his legacy. Clark is just starting hers, but she is already changing what she thinks is possible. Two distinct eras of basketball history coming together in real time. That private chat may remain between legends, but Clark's true test has been in front of us the entire time since Diana Taurasi warned that reality was on the way for the rookie superstar back in April while staring directly into those ESPN cameras with Scott Van Pelt.
There's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there? Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women.
She was mistaken, though. Who could have imagined that Clark would emerge as the new face of women's basketball? Discussions on social media platforms were triggered by that moment, which was delivered with Tara's season confidence. While some fans supported the WNBA veteran's viewpoint, others felt it was needless criticism directed at a college star who is set to join the league.
Many people say, well, we can't wait to see what ends up happening. Egg in the face, like Gino eventually would have. A lot of people got down on Diana Taurasi for
the message that Taurasi sent with her notorious "this quote" has several levels, which were evident. Dominance in college does not equate to success in the workplace. Cheryl Swoops added to the doubts, wondering if Clark's highlight reel approach would be effective against top defenders who aren't impressed by logo three-pointers and no-look passes.
If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
Okay.
So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record? Yeah, that'll go in the record books as Caitlin Clark is the all-time whatever.
Critics analyzed every aspect of her, including her physical attributes and defensive skills, implying that she wouldn't be able to handle the physicality of the professional game. Veterans expressed skepticism, but Clark responded with a flawless performance. She was a basketball player who changed record books. In an incredible early season performance against the Seattle Storm, Clark threaded impossible passes through defensive systems intended to contain her and produced 19 assists with surgical perfection, breaking the WNBA single-game assist record. Her playmaking and court vision translated flawlessly to the professional level, making her a standout player in any league.
Could be the deepest shot we've seen Caitlin Clark make as a pro. Big one.
Mitchell, guarded by Harris. Mitchell spinning, finding Clark. 5 to shoot. Clark lays it in!
She silenced detractors with performances that completely destroyed expectations in game after game. The effect went beyond specific data. When Clark arrived, arenas that had previously reverberated with empty seats were turned into crowded venues with standing room only. Teams relocated to make room for supporters who were eager to see the rookie phenomenon. Sales of jerseys skyrocketed. TV viewership skyrocketed. For the first time ever, with Clark as the main attraction, the NCAA women's final attracted more viewers than the men's.
I think what Caitlin has done for not just college basketball, but for women's basketball, period, I think has been great. The following, people watching the game, sellouts that we haven't seen ever. It just really bothers me, though, when people just take bits and pieces of what they want to take and they don't listen to everything and you don't hear everything. It wasn't personal. One, it was my opinion on how I think she'll be at the next level, because I do remember me saying that Caitlin, to me, could be the best college shooter I've ever seen.
The tone of her detractors changed quite quickly. Her basketball IQ was praised by analysts and veterans who had doubted her skills. From she won't make it to she's altering everything, the storyline entirely changed, and even Tara couldn't deny the Clark impact. Taurasi invited Clark to appear on ESPN's NCAA championship coverage in what may have been the most striking reversal, giving a heartfelt appreciation of Caitlin's maturing boy Caitlin's incredible this acknowledgement, which came from the same voice that cautioned about reality, said a lot about Clark's indisputable influence.
Guys, we're gonna come back on Sunday. We're here for the final. We've got Caitlin Clark joining the show. This will be Caitlin's second time.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice to have her back as a pro. She was a college kid.
She was a college kid.
College kid back then.
Not
now
anymore.
we got to get professional.
Caitlin's grown.
Caitlin has grown.
Boy, Caitlin's amazing.
Yeah, Caitlin has grown.
Clark replied to Taurasi's retirement announcement with a brief yet impactful one-word Instagram comment that read, "Legend." This illustrated the respect that grew between two generations of legendary basketball players. Even her harshest detractors became grudging admirers of Clark because of her dominance on the court and poise off it. Here's something that adds even more intrigue to the entire meeting. Clark and LeBron both use the same recognizable swoosh. Both Nike athletes and marketing execs are already envisioning what may be 2 generations of basketball players under one brand, each signifying a distinct period of basketball greatness. This results in the ideal basketball narrative playing out in front of us. The budding star and their game, as well as the company that honors excellence, bonded with the silent tutor. The basketball community is looking forward to this partnership. What do you think this might signal for the sport's future? Are we seeing a passing of the torch? Please share your ideas.